Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 6. This week, we're going to study chapter 12, which is about monopoly, and we'll see how monopolists can basically maximize their profit. So last week in chapter 10, we saw how perfect competition market works and how businesses can maximize their profit in that particular market. Remember that we also had perfect competition in chapter 3 when we talked about demand and supply. So basically, you would definitely need the formulas and some of the graphs that we discussed in chapter 9 to grasp the idea of profit maximization in perfect competition and also in monopoly. Last week, of course, I didn't make any videos, but I just wanted to mention that chapter 10 is very, very important. I also mentioned when we were discussing chapter 9, perhaps, that chapter 9 and 10 are very, very important. We talk about cost and production in chapter 9, and basically we're going to use all those concepts that we learned in chapter 9 in chapter 10 and chapter 12. In chapter 10, of course, we see that when businesses can maximize their profit in this market, we see that all the businesses are price takers. They have to accept the price in this market. Perfect competition or pure competition is a huge market. So we have thousands and thousands of businesses in this market. We have lots of course, buyers in this market. I want you to kind of compare profit maximization in pure competition and monopoly when you study chapter 12 and see how different they are. Because in a sense, they are kind of the opposite of each other. You will see that pure competition is huge, monopoly is small. You will see that businesses don't have any control over the price in pure competition, but you see that in a monopoly market, our one single firm is dictating the price. Basically, the market is a price maker. You will see that the products in the pure competition are identical, very, very similar. So the buyers really are not really loyal to specific brand. They go for the cheapest product in the market. But you will see that in monopoly market, the products are really unique, and not every producer is able to produce the products that you see in the monopoly market. So the good example for pure competition is agricultural product in the stock market, and monopoly is local utilities or cable companies. So you really don't have that many companies, right? Because the main reason, as you will also study in chapter 12, is that most of the firms in monopoly market are government owned or government regulated. So that's why getting into this market, unlike pure competition, you will see is very, very hard. And you will also see the reasons behind these kind of blocked entry for new businesses in monopoly market. So definitely try to compare these two markets when you study chapter 12, see how they are different, like the demand, how the demand is different in these markets. Because if you remember from chapter 10, we kind of distinguish between the market demand in pure competition market with the demand for one single firm. But you will see that in monopoly market, there is no basically difference between the demand for the market and demand for one firm, because we have only one firm. It's a pure monopoly. We have one firm, so the one firm owns the market. So the demand for one firm is the same as the market demand. You are also, guys, going to have obviously a homework from this chapter. There's just one more chapter that we're going to study next week, and that will be it. We're kind of done with our course materials. I cannot believe that we're in week 5. Chapter 13 is the chapter we're going to study next week. So if you remember from last week, at the beginning of chapter 10, we basically discussed the 4 different markets we have in microeconomics. We're going to study pure competition and monopoly in detail, but we also describe basically the characteristics of two other markets we have that are called monopolistic competition and oligopoly. So chapter 13 discusses monopolistic competition and oligopoly, but we're not really going into detail compared to chapter 10 and chapter 12. So I want you guys to basically study what I mentioned in the lecture notes. So if I'm not discussing something in the notes and you see it in the text, you can skip that part. I tried actually to kind of keep chapter 13 short. If you are an econ major, however, you will learn more about oligopoly and monopolistic competition in kind of more advanced microeconomics, in game theory courses that you have. But if you are not an econ major, that's pretty much it you need to know from these two markets. So I tried actually to keep it short, so where we are getting there, we're almost there, hanging there. We have basically chapter 12 and chapter 13, and then we are done. Do not forget that the term paper is due tonight, Monday. Of course, I'm recording it on a Friday, but that's okay. But you guys will see it on a Monday. So the paper is due on Monday, April 25th. You need to go to D12 to submit your papers. I tried also explain it in my email. If you also check out the syllabus, you can see, but quickly, if you go to D12 and click on the course activity and then click on assignment, you should be able to see the folder for the paper. So just click on that folder, and then there's this little box that you can upload your paper there. It's very similar to the student memorandum that you guys signed and submitted at the beginning of the term. So that's the place that you should go. And remember that to just double check your submission and make sure that you were successfully submit your paper when you are done. I'll try to grade them before the final, so then you have your grade before that time. But of course, I have 6 classes. I teach 6 different classes, so it's hard because this is the time that all of my classes basically submit their papers. So I'll do my best. I'll do my best to finish all the gradings before the final, because I want you guys to have your grade before that time. I believe we have just the homework from chapter 12 and then chapter 13, and then we are done with all the assignments on Connect. Let me quickly also check the discussion board. So overall, we had only 3 discussions. So the last discussion actually is due on May 2nd. So it's open right now. On D12, Monday, April 25th is the day that the last discussion is open. Don't miss it. You need all the grades, right? From discussion, from assignments, from your paper, everything. And also remember that the final exam is basically comprehensive, meaning that you should start reviewing everything from the beginning. But of course, the focus will be on the materials after the midterm, but you definitely should review what we also discussed at the beginning of the class before you take the midterm, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. The final will be open to you guys from May 5th through May 10. So you have 5 days to take it. You can take it anytime that you like, that it works for you. Make sure that you, of course, again, I will remind you everything next week. But just as a reminder, when you are taking the final exam, if you have any question, send your emails to my Lone Star email, because don't send anything to my D12, because I have the Lone Star on my phone, so I am faster in responding and I get a notification. And so I'm kind of faster in responding. Just make sure you include your name, your course number, Econ 2302 or micro. Your section number is 5002. Then I can find your name in my roster. Otherwise, it's impossible for me to find you, honestly. What else? That's pretty much it. Just let me know if you have any question. I cannot wait to read your papers. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but this is really the exciting part for me. Um, because believe it or not, but I learned a lot from your papers, from my students' paper, because sometimes you come up with a topic that I never thought about it, or I don't have that much knowledge. So when I read your paper, I also like Google stuff and learn more. So it's really, I think that's the nerdy part of me that that loves reading your papers and basically learn from you. So I cannot wait to see what you guys did. I am pretty sure that you guys worked pretty hard um, on your paper, and throughout the semester, your midterm exam was the proof of that. So keep up the good work. We're almost done. Don't give up, and I'll talk to you soon.